Well, I would agree. I definitely have. I can't believe we're having this conversation.
That's
of course,
okay.
it would end up going this way because we're in Koh Phangan and there is a lot of sexual energy here.
Welcome to this new episode, and today I am here with Daisy Green. How are you, Daisy?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very good indeed. So Daisy is a rapper, a singer, a songwriter and a performer. So she's a very interesting person indeed in Koh Phangan. So I like to start. What is your journey in life?
Do I start with the most traumatic event of my life and come till now? Because I feel like that's where most of our stories really begin, especially, well, for me, Koh Phangan has been the most healing part of my journey. So arriving in Koh Phangan a year and a half ago-ish, I had been in Pai before that and just started some therapy actually with a beautiful woman called Sandia who had spent a lot of time in Koh Phangan and had a lot of healing modalities and really helped me see that there was another way of living, and I hadn't been to Koh Phangan yet. So when I came to Koh Phangan, I've spent the last year and a half really doing so much inner work on myself and healing myself from, childhood trauma. Sorry to go deep, but that's kind of what most people are doing on this island, and this is why I feel very safe here at the moment to be able to express myself and my story, and this is where my music actually comes from, and this has been part of my healing process. That's kind of when I started to perform more. So actually it's only been a year and a half really that I've been on this journey of performing, but yeah. I could tell you my whole life story, but I feel like that's it actually comes through the music. So I've actually created an album, and a lot of my history and my stories are through my music. Yeah.
That's lovely. As a growing up child and young girl, were you always artistic or creative?
I was actually, yeah. My mum always put me in drama schools and stuff like that. So yeah, from a very young age, I was going to performing arts schools on the weekends, and yeah, summer camps, drama camps, and this kind of thing. So yeah, and she always encouraged me to draw and to do anything creative, always musical instruments, never actually carried on with any musical instruments, and I never really saw myself as a singer, but I loved to sing. But when I finished school at 16, I went and studied performing arts for 2 years, and then I went and studied at uni for another 3 years, creative and performing arts, where I did art, music, dance, drama. So I have a background in creative arts, and I've always been interested in all different modalities of the arts and exploring, whether it's photography or visual arts, or I'm very much into visual aesthetics, fashion, and just the way that you can create such an image through aspects of the way that you look, for sure.
That's fascinating too, and it's something that I might decide to play a little bit more with in the future, Of course, my background is kind of conventional in a way. And also my looks, the way I appear, always been kind of conventional. Before I started growing my hair, now a beard, and let's see what happens next.
Yeah.
But I might get some advice from you, maybe,
I think it's ever evolving, and it should be ever evolving. Today, I love clothes. I had a vintage clothing shop for 4 years, and my parents had a vintage clothing shop in the 80s. So I've always been surrounded by. Had a huge love of clothing and fashion, but even today I open my wardrobe and I've got loads of clothes. I came to Thailand with nothing, and now I've got all of these clothes, and I was what do I wear today? Who do I want to be? You can create a different identity, a different character for whatever kind of circumstance that you are in, or whatever you're feeling for that day. It doesn't have to just be one mold. There's many different characters that we play every day, or different scenarios that we're in where we need to be look a certain way, I guess.
And that's very good fun, isn't it? I think being able to creatively change your identity depending on the social environment you're in, the place you're in, etc. And doing it with flair and with creativity and fun, with no ulterior motive or anything, just doing it for the joy of doing it. That's such pure, love and fun and such a good thing, right?
Like, I've been thinking I'm actually going to go to a play or help facilitate a play party on Saturday, and I've actually been quite resistant to go to any quite recently because I'm like kind of trying to work more on like holding my own sexual energy and not put it out there so much. So, but I actually really love the dressing up aspect of kind of the playfulness of being able to express your sexuality through the way you dress. Like I love to wear the shoes and the outfits and this kind of thing. And in the UK, there's a big scene of this kind of thing, like fetish wear and this kind of stuff. And it doesn't have to be about going to a party to experience so much the sex. There's this another way that you can express your sexuality through the way you look as well, without it being, for anyone else. It's for you because that's what makes you feel good about your own, about yourself.
I think that's lovely, and also talking about the sexual energy, I very easily make a parallel or a connection between sexual energy and creativity and expression. Is that right?
Yes,
definitely. What's your view on that?
Well, I would agree. I definitely have. I can't believe we're having this conversation.
Of
course,
okay.
It would end up going this way because we're in Koh Phangan and there is a lot of sexual energy here. We're talking about yoga and kundalini energy and tantra, and this is something that I am fascinated with at the moment because it's just a new way to experience life, a new way to connect with people, and a new way to feel good, to process your emotions, all this kind of stuff that I've been struggling with for such a long time. And before I came to Koh Phangan, my life had always been, and my connections a lot of the time had been based around alcohol and drugs. Okay. And so for me to find like another way to live my life, to have deeper connections with people, that is pure. I want to create like a pure way of living, and I want to be able to raise my vibrations and my energy levels and be healthy. And for me, that goes with this very interesting, which I'm still researching and still learning about, idea of sexual energy, yoga, kundalini, how you cultivate your sexual energy to actually, it doesn't have to be for anyone else, it can be for yourself to create. And the more I learn about that, the more I become creative in myself because I'm not putting my energy into other people.
Yeah.
In a negative way, it's like how can you harness sexual energy in a healthy way, in a good way, in a nourishing way, because sometimes it can hurt. Like sex is painful, relationships are difficult, and it's draining. So like it can be draining, Sure. But it's
such a powerful force we have inside us, and I think if you can, that's what I try as well, to harness the sexual energy in a way that is a force for well-being and happiness for me. It's called the principle of sublimation. So you can create and then move it. Tell us about. So you're a songwriter. Yep. How do you put together the songs? I mean, how does it work?
Well, they've come to me in many different forms. There's not a specific way that I can actually write. And I actually haven't written a song for maybe 3 or 4 months because I feel like I've written maybe 15 songs and now I've started creating like my music videos. So that's what I've been working on this past month. But in terms of the process of writing a song, it can come to me like that, and I can write something in a day, and a lot of it has been very cathartic. It's come from a place of longing or lust or desire or processing something very painful from my past, and they would just come to me in like little like downloads kind of thing, just little snippets of like a little line here, a line there, or. And I did a course as well, maybe last year, which was like a night course online, and that gave me some really good tips about you know, if you have an idea, just actually really sitting with it and being present with the idea, because sometimes you can just kind of like have it comes to you and then you just like you can forget it so easily. So yeah, it's actually how do you keep hold of these little songs, these little just like phrases that can come to you sometimes. But also having ideas, like having a theme. So my songs are very themed. So the music video that I've just worked on is for a song called Tantric Lover. And obviously it's very Koh Phangan. It was being filmed in Koh Phangan with the most beautiful backdrop of island life. And yeah, it tells a story of what Tantra means to me, basically, and what tantric relationship and it can be, and through a song.
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, and people really resonate with that song. People love it, so I think it's gonna do well. I think the video is hopefully gonna go viral. I had there's 45 women in my video in total.
Wow.
Yeah, just women. We created a massive cuddle puddle on Hinkong Beach with like 35 women with like a drone shot coming out of the center. Like that was my vision, and it actually came to life. So it's like, wow.
Beautiful.
This
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
I'd like to ask you about performing. So it is something that I started to do recently as well, and I really love it. But what kind of emotions you go through when you're on stage, or again when you curate your persona, your identity with clothes, makeup, etc., to create a character in a way, and then you reveal the character in front of people, and you impersonate it and act it.
Okay, I personally don't see myself as any style or genre or any character just as I am just yet. I still feel like I'm on a journey of discovering who I am through music. You know, I've only been doing this a year and a half, so I can't say, you know, obviously I'd love to be on stage with like, you know, coming out of the floor with like, you know, lights and dancers and all this kind of stuff. I could definitely see myself doing that, but you know, I feel the journey is just as important. So I have experimented like with various different musicians and different styles, and you know, actually some of my favorite time to perform is actually just going to open mics and singing my songs with different musicians, and the song that I sing can come out, even though I have the song, I have the words and the lyrics, the song can come out in a completely different way, and it's like a one-time thing. So sometimes it can be boring to sing the same song over and over again, so I really like to experiment and jam and this kind of thing. Also, I've been performing with a reggae sound system, so Catalan Dread, Mickey Bang Bang, he has a sound system. He had one up in Pai where he brought me onto the mic like a year and a half ago, and I would be there with my phone like reading some lyrics, and now he gets me up to really perform. So there's just different opportunities that are coming my way, and for me it's just about collaboration, working with different people and seeing what works. My album itself is an electronic album, but it's different styles. So we have a bit of like reggae, a bit of hip hop, but it's kind of a very electronic and like trippy and spacey. Like, so I feel it's hard to define my character, my persona. I'm trying to just be as authentic as I can be, and especially if I do want to dress up and be playful and be erotic or be like, that's part of my identity as well. That's another part of, you know, of who I am. And then I would love to perform with like a full band and have a really intimate, soft side to my performance as well. So basically, my songs and my message and how they're presented can be presented in many different ways.
And do you enjoy being on stage, yeah? Getting the energy from the crowd as well? Or?
I love it, yeah, I really, really love it. The more I do it, the more I love it. The more I know my songs, like before, I can remember when I first started, I'd have to think about the words, and that would be, you know, I wouldn't be able to perform, I'd be so nervous. And now I don't even think about, I don't even know, the words are just there, and so I can really just like give everything, just give my passion, give my energy, give the feeling. Basically, I want people to feel how I feel through, when I'm performing.
Yeah, it's very much an embodied experience,
Yeah,
right? That's when
yeah.
you're saying you don't even know what the words are, but they just come because you are there on the spot at the moment, in the moment, and it just flows, right? And that's fascinating. And it's very interesting, as you said, that you, of course, as a growing up, young person, you already had lots of exposure to different art schools and drama, etc. And then throughout your life, of course, the vintage clothes shop, I'm sure it was very creative in its own self.
Yeah.
But then, only recently, indeed, you started like embodying and like really taking charge of your expression in a more kind of like structured way, which is really fascinating. You know?
Yeah, I've actually been inspired so I had my vintage clothing shop, and from there I actually went and I had a photo booth business. So I was doing kind of set design and prop design and creating these fabulous, like immersive experiences at festivals and events and this kind of thing.
Okay, so that's also
this is
creative,
another beautiful thing. So I'm very much into aesthetic, and I was really getting into like videography and photography, and through that I was part of a collective called Ladies of Rage. Actually not through that, but at the same time my friends had set up this collective called Ladies of Rage, which is a group of maybe like there's 50 or maybe even like maybe even more women who are MCs, DJs, spoken word, poets. So these are the people who really inspire me. And so in Cardiff I was involved, but I wasn't so much involved in the performance. I was just such a big supporter of my friends and what they were doing. I was so inspired, but I never really thought that was kind of what I would be doing. But I follow their journey and they follow my journey, and I know that they support me, and that's why I kind of started writing during lockdown, is because they were setting all these little challenges, like write about lockdown and da-da-da. So yeah, to have a group of women in Cardiff who are really setting, they're performing at festivals and all this kind of thing, and really and having amazing gigs. I know when I go back to Cardiff I'll be fully like supported and embraced by my community back in Cardiff. To have that connection, it's it's all underground music. It's like hip hop, drum and bass. The real music scene of the UK. To still have that connection, because here I'm kind of just a lone person. People are just looking at me like, who is this? Why is this girl turning up rapping everywhere? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is she doing here? I'm like, I actually have some connection to something back in the UK, and I feel very drawn with my music to go back and share what I've created here back in the UK. That's my dream, to go back and go to festivals and see all my friends I haven't seen for 2.5 years who've been following my story, to be able to say like, this is what I've created, this is my art. And to collaborate with more musicians and experiment more back in the UK. I would really love that.
That sounds very inspiring and very lovely indeed, to be able to have a lifestyle which is more geared towards what you like, which is your passion, etc., which is expressive arts, etc. And so tell us about current projects. So you've been working on an album, so you created a record. How many songs do you have?
There's 8 songs.
8 songs?
Yeah.
And then one song you're turning into a video, as you mentioned earlier, with those beautiful video on Kong Beach. We're gonna really look forward to seeing it. And this is the project you're working on right now.
Yes.
The main one.
Yeah, this is my main project, because I kind of want to showcase what it is what my songs are. I could have done these songs in many different ways. But this is kind of how things aligned, and I started working with a producer / DJ called Alessio, who's on the island. He spent a lot of time in Bali, and he's actually leaving very soon to head back to Bali. But I only went to work with him for to do one song, and then the energy just clicked, and we were like, let's make this happen. So we made one song a week for 8 weeks, basically.
Wow.
So we had very intense.
Very productive as well.
Yeah, it was very productive. It was 2 months of just intense creativity, and every time we'd get into the studio, we'd just be like, wow! We were so excited just to make this, make it. I did that in September, October last year, and then I went to Pai, and I was performing in Pai, but with like a lovely band and this kind of thing. And then when I came back here, I haven't really been performing so much. I haven't found my musicians to really work with, but I've been doing a lot of self-work and inner work. Did my yoga teacher training, so getting into more of my yoga, spirituality kind of thing, which is going to help me in the long term.
Sure,
of what,
absolutely.
to keep grounded, especially in the music industry, because that's something that I worry about. You know, if I went back to the UK, like here we're very safe. You know, the drugs and alcohol for me aren't.
Not our community
Our
particularly.
community.
There's another community that kind of abused there.
We are on Koh Phangan, the full moon party. I heard there's some big parties here.
Two souls, two parts of the island for sure. But it's good you were able to stay on our healthy side.
Exactly, I needed that. It saved my life, really.
I'm sure now you got this album, and potentially you could tour Europe, go to festivals and sing it, do concerts.
I guess so. I have ideas, but I don't really want to plan anything. I don't want to be hungry for something. I want to just, be soft and welcome the invitations.
So for you, it's not so much like success, fame, and money. It's more just a journey of a good life, just having a good life.
Yeah, I want to perform. Yeah, I really just want to perform. I'd love to. My dream is to have a band and to perform and to work on my voice and to just write more songs and be creative and share it with an audience. That's the dream, basically.
Yeah, clear. Absolutely. And of course, you already mentioned you'll go back to the UK at some point, but I really hope that you'll keep Koh Phangan in your heart and visit regularly. Any plans no plans, but maybe an intention to come back to Koh Phangan in the future?
For sure, I'm here right now.
Yes.
I don't know where I'm going. I am feeling like maybe I should step my toe off for a little bit, but maybe
for the summer. Come back in winter, because winter in the UK. I
actually just got a year visa, so I'm actually in Thailand for another year. So
okay, so you're not going anytime soon.
Not going
okay.
No.
So Koh Phangan love all the time with Daisy Green as well. Well, Daisy, thank you very much, for having this little chat and talking to me today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.